Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Civilspedia's Daily Current Affairs Analysis brought to you by Shankar IAS Academy. In this video, we are going to discuss about the current events which are taken or which are relevant to the date of 16th and 17th of June 2025. And the topic taken for the discussion are the India and European Union partnership and its current status, and the blanket ban provided upon the transgender people and MSM groups, and the recent developments in the Rajasthan caste plus model, which got significant progress in the state among its beneficiaries, and the global gender gap index, which was recently released by the World Economic Forum, and in current position of India, and the crocodile conservation status, and the crocodile conservation program, which and under which new project got implemented recently. Before getting into the topic for today's discussion, a small announcement to make, and it is a good news for the aspirants who are going to appear for the UPSC mains of 2025, because under Shankar IAS Academy's Moksha Mains Test Series 2025, UPSC aspirants who are going to appear for this year, that is a UPSC mains exam 2025, are getting a scholarship under the Moksha program, exclusively under this test series. And this test series has the following features, which are displayed in the slide given beside me. And for further details, contact 944166 or 9003073321 for further details. In this topic for discussion, we are going to discuss about the partnership between the India and European Union alongside the economic partnership between both the nations, and it came into prominence because of the first visit done by a group of European commissioners to India to stimulate the India and European Union free trade agreement. After the discussion got over, it will lead to the expansion of the India-European Trade and Technology Council Pact. And in this article, the author of this article opined that the European Union partnership with India is act as a stabilizing force in the modern era. What is Trade and Technology Council? It was launched in the year April 2023, and it is a bilateral talk between both the nations, both the parties, and on the platform of trade, technology, and security. And it is chaired by External Affairs Minister and the Commerce Minister, along with the IT Minister from the Indian side, and from the European Union. It was co-chaired by the European Union Executive Vice President. And this Trade and Technology Council, aligned with the regulations of the pact between both the nations, and it also helps to deepen the convergence between both the economic pact between India and European Union, and it also helps to tackle the emerging challenges which are evolving in nature. This Trade and Technological Council works by categorizing them into three working groups, namely Working Group 1, 2, and 3. And the Working Group 1 will primarily focus on the strategic technologies which are being developed between both the nations, and the digital side of the governance and connectivity. And the second working group primarily focus on the green energy and the green and clean energy technologies developed between both the nations. And the third working group will primarily focus on the trade, investment, and resilient supply chain management between both the nations. Moving to the sector-wise cooperation between the India and the European Union cooperation is the first sector we are going to discuss is the political and strategic sector, which plays a major role between both the nations' development and the key initiatives taken on political and strategic side are the roadmap of 2025 and the Indo-Pacific consultation, and along with the naval drills between both the nations. And the prominence or the relevance of this initiatives taken will support Sagar initiative by India, Indo-Pacific Ocean initiatives taken by both the nations. And the second sector is the trade and investment sector. Uh, in this sector, there is a earlier pact called BTIA and CBAM and Investment Pact. In the bilateral trade investment agreement talks, which is yet to conclude, we are about to conclude this bilateral trade investment agreement talks, and the CBAM, which is a carbon border agreement mechanism, also plays a vital role between both the nations in transferring or trade activities between the nations. And the CBAM is specifically focused on the high intensified or the high emitting carbon emitting industries or the products from India to Europe or Europe to India. This trade and investment agreement has its prominence or relevance because the European Union is the third largest trade partner of India. And the third sector of discussion is the technology and digital side, because more of technological development are happening between both the nations on in accordance with the recent technological developments. That is recently discussed TTC, that is trade and technological cooperation, and the microchips and artificial intelligence and 4G and 5G and 6G technologies will also help the supply chain resilience between both the nations. And the fourth sector is the climate and energy, which is of more importance because of the climate change and the other climate related factors like rise in carbon dioxide level in atmosphere, and chlorofluorocarbons and other pacts between both the nations will lead to the clean energy partnership and will enhance the work of India along the green hydrogen project. It also helps the India to meet out the Panchamrit targets under this project. In the lines of connectivity and infrastructure sector, it also helps the India in enhancing the connectivity partnership along with the global gateway for India and European Union, and the India Middle East Europe economic corridor. It also serves as an alternative to border road initiative taken by the China, and it also supports the or complements with the Gati Shakti project undertaken by the India. And in line with the security and defense sector, European Union also plays a major role in partnership with the Indian government, as it also be supportive in the recent Falgam attack and the initiative taken by the India to counter Pakistan on Operation Sindoor. It also India needs to also focus on the PESCO prospects, that is permanent structured cooperation, that is an umbrella organization under European Union for protection of European Union, which gives the strategic autonomy between both the nations. And in the sector of science and space, ISRO and ESA has recently launched many cooperation agreements between them on example like microgravity and research of sending human to space exploration and other related activities related to moon exploration mission also, which gives a stimulus to the boosting of India's space economy. And with respect to the people mobility between both the nations and India and the European Union, migration pacts has been formulated and initiated, and the other European Union provisions like Erasmus Plus, which is a scholarship scheme exclusively for the European persons who get scholarship to get study in the European Union nations, and the Blue Card, which is a major initiative taken by the European Union online with the a non-European national who are an entrepreneur or the student who can get the exclusive socio-economic benefits from the European Union nations, which also supports the students of India and the IT professionals from the India. The challenges involved in this partnership between India and the European Union are the recent deadlock between the bilateral trade and investment agreement on line with the tariffs between both the nations and the services provided along with the intellectual property rights, and the regulatory hurdles of like CBAM impact, and the regulatory hurdles like CBAM, which also plays a major role between both the nations in exchange of high carbon emitting industries or the carbon emitting products, and it also has to be in line with the GDPR data. And the other most challenge faced by the India along with the European Union cooperation is the fragmented EU European Union defense market. As EU got diversified by nation, the defense market also got diversified, and we have to make pact with each and every nations to get the holistic picture of a defense market. So it poses a major challenge by organizing them under one section, and the slow progress on visas and social security pact between both the nations also poses a great challenge. And what if the pact between both the nations got more inclusive, and it got strengthened through plugging of various short holes in the pact will create an impact in economy, like the free trade agreement may add around 1.3 percentage of value to the India's GDP, and on the green energy sector, the EU funds which are on more on green technology or the green energy will also add value to the hydrogen project or the green hydrogen project and other renewable energy projects taken by the Indian government. And in the digital sector, the joint implementation of AI and cyber security will also in line with the GDPR and the DPDP Act of India also plays a vital role in the stronger partnership between both the nations. And in the area of maritime, the enhanced cooperation between Indo-Pacific regions by both the India and European Union will create a sense of security along the Indo-Pacific region, and it also gives a stern message to the Chinese interventions. And what are all the way forwards that will provide more stimulus and more economic value to both the nations, or the enhancement of domestic carbon market to cushion the CBAM agreement, which was between the India and Europe on line with the carbon border agreement facility or the management mechanism, and the alignment of DPDP Act, that is Digital Data Protection Act, and the General Data Protection regulations of European Union in line with the both will create a data adequacy on both the nations. And to scale up the TTC pilot projects on chips, that is microchips, quantum technology and artificial intelligence will also create a more comprehensive improvement between both the nations. And deepening of defense technologies or the defense cooperation in line with the PESCO prospects will also create a sense of security. And as we discussed earlier, the mobility partnership has to be enhanced, and the joint green hydrogen corridors will need to be in line with the Indian Middle East economic corridor, and it also acts as a great way to the global economy. Moving on to the mains practice question, the question for India and European Union partnership is in the backdrop of intensifying global geopolitical turbulence, critically examine how the India European Union partnership can act as a stabilizing force, discuss major areas of cooperation, key impediments, and suggest policy measures to realize the full potential of this strategic alignment. It is also a 15 mark question in on the backdrop of the India and European Union partnership. We have to discuss about the geopolitical turbulence which was happened recently, and what is the centralizing force that India and European Union partnership provide, and also the cooperation between both the nations and the recent policy measures taken in line with the India and European Union. In this topic of editorial analysis, we are going to discuss about the blanket ban which covered the transgender people and the MSM group, that is men who have sex with men and the female sex workers, under the National Blood Transfusion Council of 2017 guidelines, who are being excluded from getting blood or transfusion of blood donation by them. And this evidently shows the rooted fear which was in the era of HIV, and this also implies or directly caused the Indian society to get the dwindling amount of blood donors in the current generation. What is the flawed reason for the abrupt banning of these three categories of men from donating blood, or the gender stigmatization, or the stereotyping which was deep rooted in the societal behavior? That is, if a transgender person who identify themselves as transgender or the MSM group, they got excluded as the society treat them as the perpetrators or the propagating host of diseases like HIV, hepatitis B or hepatitis A, etc. This makes them as the high risk behavior shown by them, makes the stigmatization or the stereotyping more deep rooted, and and there is no clinical reason or the medical reason evidently shows the perpetrating or the propagation of disease through these groups evidently, and it is not proportionate to the high risk behavior. What are the contradictions or the problems involved in this banning of people from getting or transfusion of blood to another person, or that it is not scientifically justified, as I mentioned earlier, because modern testing equipments or the modern testing process like NAT or the ELISA, enzyme linked immunosorbent assay procedures, ensure more safety and security over the transfusion of blood from one person to another. Even we can easily get to know about the transfusion of blood types and the amount of virus load it has, and even we can get the exact details of the presence of antigens in that in within a matter of time. And the advanced procedure like ART, that is antiretroviral therapy, and the PREP procedures also possess a high advantage to the person who are being identified themselves as the transgender, but being excluded from getting blood or donating blood. And the second major problem this guidelines under the National Blood Transfusion Council contains is that it ignores or excludes the best practices along with the transgender people. Is the best practice followed by the UK, Canada, US, and other developed countries like Germany, and it also paves the way for the stigmatization got its deep rooted into the society by reinforcing the stereotyping of these men or the transgender people into the society. and it directly violates the equality and right to dignity of the people who are identify themselves as the transgender or MSM group, which in turn leads to the dwindling amount or the shortfall of the availability of blood donation or the blood transfusion by people to people. It also excludes the people from who are willing to donate by compelling them or through persuading them to establish their identity, and it also exclude which also makes the healthy donors to hesitate to donate blood. And by stigmatizing or excluding them from the donating blood or transfusion of blood, it leads to the concealment of identity by shown by the people, which in turn compromise the safety of the blood transfuted by them. What are all the legal and ethical dimensions present in this current issue are the singling out of entire community based on the high risk behavior or the high risk activity they got involved, primarily not primarily but by the societal reason. Major ethical issues shown in the shown by the Supreme Court, and it also directly violates the article 14 and 21 of the constitution, which is the right to equality and the right to life and personal liberty. And it is also in contradict with the principles of public health, that is equitable access to public health or the inclusion of people across diversified sections. And what are all the way forwards that needs to be taken or initiated to make them secured or to make them feel inclusive in the society, or the revision of the guidelines provided by the National Blood Transfusion Commission from the earlier version of 2017. It needs to be upgraded, and we have to shift the National Blood Transfusion Council guidelines to individual risk, more of individual risk assessment rather than taking as a whole or singling out the whole community on the basis of high risk factor, and to uh, insist or to follow models of UK and Food and Drug Association global practice, also help to improve the transgenders and MSM groups more inclusive into the society. And the other major measure had to taken to make them secure or make them inclusive and field, and to make them more encouraging, or the enhancement of diagnostic procedures and the diagnostic screening protocols involved in the blood transfusion that I said earlier, that is the procedure followed like ART, the ELISA program needs to be evaluated and enhanced by incorporating various other technologies and other methods. And we have to sensitize the health professionals in a positive manner to make them more accommodative to the transgender also, and to make them feel general and common in nature. And we have to make the guidelines to make in line with the transgender rights law and Supreme Court's ruling. And another way of making them inclusive into the society is the inclusive awareness campaigns done through uh, inclusion of blood donation by the transgender and MSM groups on World Blood Donor Day. Moving to the mains practice question, the question for today's section of blood donation is the blanket ban on blood donation by transgender person and sex workers raise serious concern about public health policy, scientific validity, and social justice. Critically examine the issue in the context of India's blood shortage and evolving global practice. It is a 15 more question, and it needs to be addressed the following sections, that is the public health policy, scientific validity, and social justice. For that you can quote Supreme Court rulings and other scientific procedures involved in the blood transfusion, and the public health policy which was taken or the schemes which are relevant to this blood transfusion which also be incorporated into the answer. Moving on to the next topic, the Rajasthan's cash plus model was recently got its prominence because of the progress it made when it got augmented with the earlier scheme or the earlier implemented scheme called Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, which provides financial assistance to pregnant and lactating mothers or women who are for their first living child. First, we have to know what is Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana is a centrally sponsored maternity benefit scheme under Ministry of Women and Child Development, and this scheme was established in the year of 1st January 2017. The primary objective of the Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana is to improve the health-seeking behavior among the pregnant and lactating women, and which also try to persuade the lactating women to have some nutritional diet, which was done through the direct benefit transfer scheme, and it other primary objective of this Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana is to uh, promote the institutional delivery or the institutional registration for medical related consultation and other antenatal care or prenatal care, and also the immunization program for the living child. The main motto or the objective of this program is to the yojana is to improve the maternal as well as the child care, which also plays a major role in the improvement of the development of society's health. As the nature of the Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana's scheme is benefit transfer through direct benefit transfer, that is the incentive or the amount which are provided under the scheme got transferred directly to the beneficiary's account. Second nature of this scheme is to support the nutritional needs and compensatory wages that the women society or the women workers doesn't get. Who are all the target beneficiaries or the beneficiaries or under the Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana is the primary beneficiary is the pregnant and lactating women. Also the other major beneficiary is the child that the woman bears. This Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana excludes women who are in government services both in central and state from receiving the benefits, and it also this scheme is specifically for the first living child, and it does not cover the subsequent child born for the same beneficiary. And the eligible beneficiary for this to get the benefit from this Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, the applicant or the beneficiary has to have the pregnancy after 1st January of 2017. Benefit offered under this Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana is rupees 5,000 will be directly transferred to the bank account of the beneficiary, and which is also transferred under 3 installments. First on the these installments are provided after completing or meeting out with the following parameters, that is the early registration of pregnancy in the public health centers or the other medical areas for ensuring the institutional delivery, and the second is the at least one prenatal or antenatal checkup has to be done in the premises of hospital which the beneficiary got registered, and the third is the birth registration, after birth registration, and the first immunization program for the child is provided. And additionally, the beneficiary got the additional incentive from the Janani Suraksha Yojana. So the consolidated or the average the benefit got by the beneficiary is around 6,000 in total. What is Rajasthan's cash plus model? This cash plus model of Rajasthan augments or combines the direct benefit transfer scheme under the Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, along with the social and behavioral change communication. It augments the Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana's direct benefit transfer with the social and behavioral change communication method, which also benefits the beneficiaries to target the which also helps the government to target the beneficiaries more accurately and provide the benefits which supports them in the uh, enrichment of their nutritional diet plan, and also has to have the monitoring mechanism under the beneficiary over the beneficiary. And this cash plus model got initiated or implemented initially in the 5 districts, tribal dominated districts of Rajasthan, and later it got scaled up to the breadth and length of Rajasthan district in the year of Rajasthan state in the year of 2022. The overall allotted budget of this Rajasthan cash plus model is around 210 crores, and the target beneficiaries, which also includes 3.5 lakh second time pregnant or lactating women. As I said earlier, the key components of this cash plus model, or the first thing is the direct benefit transfer, that is financial support given to them to improve their dietary intake, and which also includes the behavioral support, that is personal visit done by the counselors and Anganwadi workers to the work place of the beneficiaries directly, and provide them the counseling accordingly, and monitoring the health status of the pregnant or lactating women by providing them accurately and counseling accordingly. And this cash plus model also got the inclusion, digital inclusion of more youths, and it targets the more youths and male member households to make it a widespread campaign all along the state. And this cash plus model also includes the counseling and direct supervision of workers in the program, which got the mobilization of maternal health across the state, and which also creates an awareness among the beneficiaries. What are the major achievements through this cash plus model has been achieved, or it got the level up of the breastfeeding, earlier breastfeeding initiation, which got leveled up to 90%, which was up from the level of 60%. And it also shows a progress of 49% increase in the dietary practices taken by the beneficiaries, and it also got the involvement of 54% of women used the direct benefit transfer for the uptake of the dietary beneficiaries or the nutrition intake through the benefits they got or the incentive they got. And the fourth major achievement got by this cash plus model is the rise in acceptance of counseling given by the Anganwadi workers and the other nutrition based workers, ASHA workers also got increased to 44%. And overall this cash plus model got a pioneer scheme, and which benefited around 3.3 million women, which also improves the nutrition status of women to around 80%. And what is the major significant role played by this cash plus model is that it is the first major initiative taken by a state by combining the direct benefit transfer along with the model of social and behavioral change communication. And it also sets a benchmark, or it also plays a pioneer role for other states to get include this type of model to get more beneficiaries included, and also the benefits transferred to the beneficiary will be more efficient if they combine this type of model all along the states of India. And This cash plus model also supports the sustainable development goals of goal 2 and 3, that is zero hunger and good health accordingly or respectively. And it also complements with the Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, because it has all the provisions of Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, but this cash plus model is also got included the second living child also. It is the only peculiar feature apart from the Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, and it also helps the Poshan Abhiyan program of the Indian government. Moving to the prelims practice question, the question is, under which ministry is the Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana got implemented? Option A, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Option B, Ministry of Rural Development. Option C, Ministry of Women and Child Development. Option D, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. In this following option, we got easily eliminate the option B and option D. But we have the confusion, we may get the confusion of either choosing option A or option C, but the answer for this implementation of Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana will be done by the Ministry of Women and Child Development. So the answer is C. In the recently released Global Gender Gap Index by the World Economic Forum, India has just dropped 2 rank positions in the year 2025, and the current rank status of India is 131 out of 148 member nations, and the overall parity score is 64.1%. Even though India has shown progress in the 3 sub-indices out of 4, the one sub-indices which plays a major role, or the outcome of not playing very well in the one sub-indices, causes the drop in position of India in the South Asian region and in the overall global level. As we saw earlier, the current rank of India in the Global Gender Gap Index is 131 out of 148 member countries. 148 countries, and the overall parity score got by India in the overall performance is 64.1%, which is one of the lowest among the South Asian region. And what are all the parameters under which the Global Gender Gap Index is considered or measured is the economic participation and opportunity between the genders. And the second parameter got for the consideration is the educational attainment by the genders. And the third parameter is the health and survival. And the fourth is the major parameter which plays a major role for India, which causes the India to get the rank got dropped, is the political empowerment. And the overall performance of India is stable and marginal improvement in 3 out of 4 indices that I mentioned in the previous slide. Only the political empowerment sub-indices, India played not up to the level or the subpar level, so that the India's rank got dropped by 2 positions. And the overall economic participation shown by this gender gap index, Global Gender Gap Index, is positively by 0.9 percentage point in the economic participation and opportunities. And the overall income and parity among the gender is also shows some progress. The overall ranking, among the top 5, there will be an definitely the Scandinavian countries plays a major role, or they decorate the crowns of this gender gap index by ranking a high position in the global gender gap index, and subsequently by the New Zealand, Ireland and Rwanda. The global gender gap index plays a major role in UPSC prelims. This global gender gap index is published by World Economic Forum, which is asked previously in the UPSC prelims once or twice, I think. I don't think once or twice. And the Global Gender Gap Index got released first in the year of 2006, and it measures the uh, gender parity across countries under the four major criteria or the parameters which we discussed earlier. And the score ranges of this Global Gender Gap Index ranges from 0, which is high inequality, to 1%, is this parity. And we have to know about other indexes or indices along with the Global Gender Gap Index. As we know that the Global Gender Gap Index is released by World Economic Forum, which measures under the four parameters. And the second thing we have to know about is the Gender Inequality Index, which is also a previous year question. It is released by UNDP, United Nations Development Program, which is specifically focuses on Human Development Index compound, and it focuses on it measures the gender disparity in Human Development Index components. And the third index is the Women, Peace and Security Index, which is published by Georgetown Institute, which is not a previous year question, and it measures the which takes the parameters as the measurement like inclusion, justice, security for women, etc. Moving to the prelims practice question, with reference to Global Gender Gap Index, consider the following statement. It is released annually by UN Women, which is abruptly a wrong statement. Global Gender Gap Index is released by World Economic Forum, so the first statement is incorrect. So we can eliminate one in the option, so we can easily arrive at the 2 and 3, but we have to take note of the second and third statement also. So the second statement is it measures gender disparity across economic, educational, health and political indicators, which is correct. These are all the four parameters under which the Global Gender Gap Index is considered to be measured. And the third statement is in 2025, India improved its score in economic participation but declined in political empowerment, which is definitely a correct statement, because India has shown some progress in economic participation and opportunity provision, but the major reason for the dwindling or the drop down of the ranking of India in the global position of Global Gender Gap Index is the political empowerment of women in the society, as well as the political participation of women in various sectors. So that statement is also correct. So the answer is option A, 2 and 3. In this topic, we are going to discuss about crocodile species in India, and also the specific conservation efforts taken by Odisha. The Odisha is going to celebrate, or Odisha has celebrated recently the World Crocodile Day on June 17 as a milestone due to its pioneering effort in conservation of the crocodile species in India. There are three types of crocodile species in India, which we are going to discuss about later in that section, and which also marks the India's 50th year as achievement in conserving crocodile species. And the crocodile conservation program, which was earlier started in or launched in April 1st of 1975. And in the event of this also, our Prime Minister Narendra Modi on March 2025 has launched or initiated a new conservation program specifically to Gharial conservation. And here are the tabular column distributing the three different crocodile species in India, and the three status of IUCN WPA Act of 1972 and the site status of these three species. And first we are going to discuss about the mugger crocodile, which is a medium sized crocodile, also known as marsh crocodiles, and the scientific name of this crocodile is Crocodilus palustris. And the natural habitat of this mugger crocodile is freshwaters. Its natural habitat is freshwater lakes, rivers and wetlands, and the IUCN status is vulnerable. And one more peculiar feature among these three species of crocodile is that it comes under the Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, and it also comes under the Appendix 1 of the site status. And the second species we are going to discuss is the saltwater crocodile, which is the largest living reptile in the world. And the scientific name of this saltwater crocodile is Crocodilus porosus, and the natural habitat, as the name mentioned, is the saltwater region or the brackish water region. It lives on it majorly habited on the mangrove regions like Sundarbans and the other areas accompanying with the Sundarban region, the marshy lands, estuaries, and the coastal regions of India. It majorly habitat in the Bhitarkanika forest or Bhitarkanika region of the Odisha. And the IUCN status of this saltwater crocodile is least concern. And the third species which we are going to discuss is the Gharial, which is somewhat different from other crocodile, which has the long snout, and which is the adaptation it got for specifically for fishing, as the this Gharial crocodile primarily have the diet of eating fish. And the scientific name of this Gharial crocodile is Gavialis gangeticus. The natural habitat is it is a freshwater crocodile, so it lives in the deep waters of rivers, specifically in the areas of Chambal Sanctuary and the Mahanadi rivers. And the IUCN status is critically endangered. If my memory is right, this there is a previous year question with regard to this crocodile and specifically to the conservation status of Gharial. We have to know the origin of this project, which stimulates origin of this project is the trigger given by the herpetologist H.R. Buster in the 1974. According to his survey, the status of the crocodiles in India is on the brink of extinction, or it may in the risk of extinction. So India has taken action in the year 1975 to conserve the population of crocodile species in India, and the project of conservation of crocodile program was supported by FAO, that is Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, and the first conservation center was established in Tikarpada on Mahanadi river, which is specifically for the conservation of Gharial crocodiles. And the Dangamal conservation protected area was specifically created for the conservation of saltwater crocodiles, which was in the Bhitarkanika region. And the role of Odisha is a pioneer and very unique in nature, because Odisha is the only state in India has the 3 species of crocodile under its program, and it also the largest conservator of these 3 species and host of these 3 species. And also it is the first state to dedicate a separate biologist for obtaining the various status of this 3 kinds of crocodile species. And it also initiated the separate process called captive reared crocodile species into wild, releasing of captive reared crocodile species into wild, specifically gharials and saltwater crocodiles. And it also established some conservation pools for breeding of these species of crocodiles, which was Bhitarkanika region was first established as the protected area for saltwater crocodile, and the Satkosia area was first established as a protected area for conservation of gharials. And later these two, Bhitarkanika and Satkosia, was upgraded to National Park and Tiger Reserve, which was an additional fact. And what are all the conservation efforts and the outcome of the conservation status? The first thing is as the eggs laid by these crocodiles are vulnerable to many exposure to many predators and other circumstances, the egg incubation centers and rearing centers was established. which was a pioneer move to reduce the hatchling morbidity or the hatchling mortality. And the second is the international collaboration on which the adult male Gharial crocodile was bought from Frankfurt Zoological Society, which is in headquarters in Germany, was a major initiative in the conservation of Gharial crocodiles. And the establishment of over 20 zoos, including the Madras Crocodile Bank, creates an amicable solution for the breeding and reintroduction of these crocodile species into the wild. And the recently launched Gharial Revival Project, which aims to consolidate the Gharial population in the Ganges and its tributaries, and it also aims to reintroduce it into the earlier habitable zone of Brahmaputra, Indus and Mahanadi rivers, which area got shrunken in the recent past. Following are some of the distribution areas under which the Gharial or saltwater crocodiles and mugger crocodiles are being distributed across India. And the main area of distribution of Gharial species was the Chambal Sanctuary and the Girva regions of Uttar Pradesh and Gandak Mahanadi rivers of Odisha and some part of Nepal rivers. And the second is the saltwater crocodile. This saltwater crocodile has the major habitat in Bhitarkanika region of Odisha, and the second habitable zone of Sundarbans and its marshy lands or the wetlands, and the third region is the Andaman and Nicobar Islands of India. And the third species, mugger crocodile, found in 15 Indian states, especially in Chambal, Ganga regions and the Gujarat area. The following are the threats that possess for this crocodile species are the poaching for skin, habitat destruction by construction activities and other industrial activities, and the major threat to the population of crocodiles in India is the riverine pollution caused due to various human activities and other industrial activities. And other major reason for the destruction of this or the dwindling of the population of crocodiles in India is the low survival of hatchlings due to natural predations like birds and dogs intervention into the nests of these crocodile species. And the human animal conflict also plays a vital role in the population of Gharial or crocodile species in India. Moving to the prelims practice question, with reference to crocodilian species in India, consider the following statement. Odisha is the only Indian state with wild population of all three native crocodilian species. The first statement may be correct, and the second statement is the mugger crocodile is the largest crocodilian species found in India. Which is incorrect, because as I said earlier that the saltwater crocodile is the largest crocodile species in India. So the second statement may be incorrect. Second statement is incorrect. And the third statement is Gharials are exclusively river dwelling species with long thin snouts adapted for catching fish, which is correct, because the long snout is specifically adaptation of catching fish. And the fourth statement is all three crocodilian species in India are listed under Schedule 2 of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, which is incorrect, because as I said earlier, all the three species present, crocodilian species present in India comes under the Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. So the fourth statement is incorrect. By eliminating the second statement and fourth statement from the answer, we can arrive at the two options, that is 1 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3. And as we know that we can also eliminate this also, because the second statement is incorrect. So we can easily arrive at the answer option A, 1 and 3 only. Hope you guys like the video, and please share your positive comments in the comment section given below, and share the video to your friends, and please keep in touch with us by subscribing to our Shankar IAS Academy YouTube channel.